Orchinistas, welcome to the channel Forever Orchids. I've got a little small haul for you today. I found a plant online from Ritter Orchids, and I will put down on the bottom of the screen down here what their Etsy shop and their website is so that you can check them out. They're in Florida, and they had a little mishap with shipping on time. And they were so nice. Their customer service is phenomenal. They sent an extra plant. So let's get into this so I can show you what I got. Okay. Ooh, this is a big one. This is the one that I ordered. Look how nice they pack it. Ooh, we got roots everywhere. Okay. Oh, new growth growing on this. I saw this plant recently at an orchid show in bloom, fell in love with it. It is such a great cattleya. Let me put this paper down here on the floor and we can look at this. Oh, it's got two new growths on it. Look, guys, one right here, one here. It's a little dry from shipping, so we're going to need to repot, but I'm going to wait a couple of weeks here, let it get adjusted to my environment. But look at all the new roots growing out right here. It's a great time to pot your plants. So we'll get this one in a 6-inch pot after we let it have some time in my environment to get adjusted. Let me tell you what this is. All right, I'm gonna put up on the screen because I do think it has been changed. This tag here says it is Potinera, but I actually think that's been changed now. It might be RLC, maybe. So I'll look that up. But this is Elaine Taylor. The cultivar is Krull Smith. Now let me tell you something. This plant, this Mariclone of the Krull Smith, has been awarded. It has an FCC by the American Orchid Society. So a very highly awarded plant. So I'm very excited about this here, Elaine Taylor. Hopefully it's going to stand up for me without falling over because it has definitely gotten top heavy where it has been growing out of the pot here. We'll set this one aside and oh, it's going to fall. Put some fertilizer in front of it. All right, so this is the complimentary plant that they sent me. I have no idea what's in here. No clue. Let's see what this surprise is, and let's figure out what this is. All right, I got a pot down here. Okay, let's see here. Oh, okay. It is in the cattleya family, and this is definitely one that I don't have. Get rid of the paper off our counter here. This is BC Clear Stars. This is Cattleya Singying Pub Albo Sanguinea crossed with Brassavola nodosa, and the Brassavola nodosa that was used has an FCC by the American Orchid Society. Okay, right. Make sure, yeah, it just accidentally got two tags in here. So nice. I'll put up on the screen what the name of this plant is and see if I can find some pictures of it. I think I've seen some for Clear Stars, and we've got two new growths here, one and a second one starting here, and it's going to look a lot like the Nodosa hybrids, that star-shaped flower, but I think this one might be more an alba, just more white. I don't know. I'll look it up and see what we've got. Dry, so I'm definitely going to give this some water, and I'm going to use some sea kelp extract with both of these plants as I water them, so that they've been stressed in shipping. Now they shipped it on, I think it was only a 2-day shipping, and they were supposed to ship. No, maybe they shipped it on Tuesday, so maybe 4 days. Today's Friday. They either shipped it Tuesday or I got notification Wednesday. So it was either 2 or 3 days these were in a box. So we're going to get these soaking in some water, find places for them in my grow space, and I'll keep you guys updated on how well these look in a couple of weeks and when we need to repot them. So please stay tuned to my channel. Well, let's repot this new plant that I just showed you as a haul. It's been a couple of weeks and I've decided that I want to go ahead and repot this plant now. And the reason why is we've got a lot of new root tips that are coming out of this pseudobulb here, and there are not root tips, but new growths right here. And I showed you that when we opened the package. And I've gone ahead and, for time's sake, gone ahead and dumped out all the media that was in the pot. Now, this was actually potted in a very large Orchiata bark. I don't have any that is this large. It also had styrofoam peanuts at the bottom of the pot. So when and it kind of does, it's the media smells. So really a good time to repot this. There was nothing on the tag as to when it was repotted. So I do feel like the media was breaking down. And when I took out the plant out of the pot, if you can see how the roots here, not these right here, but most of them were just spiraled around, what is that? The top 3/4 to an inch of the top of the pot. So this media was breaking down and the roots were trying to stay away from it, in my opinion. So when I took it out of the pot, the other thing that I noticed was, look at this here. Look at how floppy this portion is here. So it made me think, do I have two plants in this pot? So I started looking, and I do believe, sure enough, I've got two divisions. Now, remember, this is the Pottinera Elaine Taylor. Krull Smith has an FCC from the American Orchid Society. So I have two choices. I could pot these back up together, or I could go ahead and separate them and have two plants. I'm kind of in the ballpark of go ahead and separating them and have them as two separate plants. That then allows me to grow both of them up into larger specimen sizes. It allows me to sell one, gift one, whatever I decide later on. All right, let me see if I can get the camera here focused, and I'm going to show you, move some of these roots out of the way, and let me show you, there is right here and right here the cuts in the rhizome that tells me this is two separate plants. Can you see that? Hopefully the cameras will focus on those. I've also followed the rhizome, and that's how I determined it is at this point and this point. And what is holding these two plants together is this mass of roots. So I'm going to try my best to get some of these roots untangled from the rhizome here for this division. That's where I'm going to start first. And they easily move away from this outside. And then I've got a whole bunch tangled up over here that I'm just going to kind of wiggle the two plants apart and hope. And they are definitely two separate plants, because what I've got right here connecting is a mass of roots, not a rhizome. So I needed to pull apart. You heard that little crackle? That was some dead roots. So now I've got two separate plants here, and I'm going to keep untangling, gently pulling, very gently, and getting this root mass separated here. All right, let's see here. We've got this root here coming out. I'm just going to follow the roots here for my two separate plants. And they're just tangled right here in this little spot. And there we go, like magic. Two separate plants. I'm going to get this old media out of the way, and then we're going to pot these two separate plants up. And I got a little shallow dish right here. I'm just going to pour this old media into it. Give me a little clear space if need be. Give me a little clean tray here. Whew, this stuff smells. Smells rotten. Just kind of smells like if you've ever been into an old house that just smells wet and damp, or a basement and it just smells musty from that. That's what that potting media smells like. Now I get to determine what pots am I going to plant this in. When I thought it was one plant, got a 6-inch pot started with some lava rock in the bottom, and then I'm planning on putting some bark mixture of Orchiata Plus, sphagnum moss, some charcoal, and a little perlite. Now I've had this soaking, this bark has been soaking actually for a couple of days. I've been trying to get to this project for a couple of days, and life has gotten in the way, and it's just been very difficult to get to this project. So I really don't think, well, maybe with these roots, let's see if I try to get this into a 6-inch pot. I got an awful lot of room, and I do kind of feel like maybe this pot is too big. You do want some room, but orchids like to feel secure, and I'm just not sure if this isn't too much space here for this orchid to really kind of feel secure in this pot. So I'm going to have to find my 4-inch pots. It came out of a 4-inch pot. So if I can't do them back in a 4-inch pot, like look at all the root system on this one here with the new growth that's growing, all the roots here, I might not be able to, even though, was it all in this pot? I think maybe it was all in this pot and started to grow out, so it needed to be repotted anyway. But I do have some 5-inch plastic pots, and I might go get those, and let's see what those look like together. So I'll be right back, and for you, it'll be just a blink of an eye. I think these 5-inch pots, they're plastic. I know I tell you guys, I like to put all of my cattleyas in clay pots. I just don't have, I've either got a small 4-inch or I've got a 6-inch clay pot. And I really think we need to do something a little bit smaller, so in between. So I'm going to have to go against what I like to do. And I like to put my cattleyas in clay pots, but I'm going to put these in these plastic pots here. And I'm just going to use some of the lava rock. I want these plants to go outside for the summer. So I'm going to put some lava rock down in the bottom of the plastic pot. That's going to weight it down so that hopefully the wind isn't going to knock this over. And I'll have to get some more lava rock for this next pot here. I've only had 4 pieces to go in the bottom of the clay pot. Okay, anyway, let's get back to potting up. So let me show you this one inside the pot here. Just kind of put the roots down in there, kind of spiral them in. Now because we've got 2 new growths here and here, I'm going to put these back bulbs further back against the back of the pot here. This will give me more room for growth this direction. And I'm just going to start filling in, a little messy here with my hands. Just start filling in with this bark that's been soaking. Put a little bit in to start with so I can get it underneath the rhizome here, underneath any little cavities that are under here. Tuck my roots in. All of these roots were inside the pot to start with, so they're not considered aerial roots. So I'm fine to go ahead and just cover them all up. Ooh, a big old piece of sphagnum moss. It was a little too big there. All right, now I've got enough in there so I can lift this up and show you. I do have the rhizome and the bulbs here slightly above my plastic rim of the pot. I don't want to put it down too far down into the pot because then I'm going to run the risk of it rotting. So I want to get some of that above and get that good air movement going around the pot, around the roots here. And I'm going to put a little bit here in the back Just kind of tuck my fingers down in there and make sure that I'm getting the media down in amongst those roots, making sure that the plant itself will feel secure. And if I need to, once I get this potted up, if I do feel like that it's still a little wobbly, I can always, oh, I got sidetracked. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. I got sidetracked. Okay, and the reason why I got sidetracked was I've got a bulb, a pseudobulb right here that has an eye that looks like it is swelling right here, which means I could get growth from this back bulb coming out this way, that I might want to move the plant a little bit off the back of the rim just so I can give that bulb room to grow and keep the plant in this pot a little bit longer. All right, so I've shifted it probably about a finger's width. These roots right here, I've shifted about a finger's width away from the back here, just to give, in case that bulb decides to go on and push out a new lead, which would be phenomenal. It would be great. I have been soaking the bark here in Kelpak, so that's going to help with the stress of this orchid as I've repotted it here. And we'll get a little bit of this sphagnum moss here and put on the, just top dress it a little bit on the back here of those roots. And then I'm going to take my fingers, kind of go around the outside of the rim, pushing down that media to pack it around the outside rim. And we're almost done with this one. And I'm trying to hurry just a little bit here. I've got to get on the road and get to one of the places that I volunteer at. So I think we're good on this one here. Little wobbly at the moment. So what we'll do is I'll probably come in and put a rhizome clip right down here just to tie it in a little bit better. So that's the first one. Put our tag down back in here. And then the second one, I'll go ahead and pot it up. I'm going to pot it the same way into this 5-inch pot here. And we've got new growth here, so I'm going to pull these roots the best I can down into this pot, but get this back bulb here, right here, closer this way. So now all of my new roots here can come down and grow into the pot, and I can have a few more years of growth with this plant. I'll show you what this looks like at the end after I'm all done. All right, here they are. I've got both of them finished now. The second one is just in the 5-inch plastic pot. Pseudobulb, the back bulb, I put up against the back rim here. I've got new roots coming out of this lead right here. I am assuming that this was the newest growth. It has bloomed before. This is a mature size plant for this this Elaine Taylor here. There's a bloom spike here, and there's one here. And let's see if this division here has bloomed. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it looks like this one here has bloomed. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted this plant to start with. It is a phenomenal, flat, red, gorgeous cattleya. Looks like the big, fluffy, standard cattleyas, but in a shorter, compact size. So for growing indoors, this is perfect. And I'm so excited I ended up with 2 plants out of it. Stay tuned for more updates from Forever Orchids. I'll keep you updated on all of my plants in my collection, and we'll keep an eye on these 2 now divisions of this Elaine Taylor here. And until next time, guys, happy orchid growing. Bye!